Well, good afternoon, everyone. Meteorologist Michael Wilhite here with Southern Indiana weather. We are under a winter weather advisory tonight for more snow on the way. Mainly affects one side of Indiana. Now, all of us will have a chance for some snow, but the closer you get to southwest Indiana, the less those accumulations are going to be. Winter weather advisories here really from a line from Du Bois County, Perry County, Martin County, and then points all off to the east after that. 1 to 3 inches of snow expected in the advisory areas. Now let me just kind of show you what the snow maps are showing. I'm not going to show you a ton of snow maps today. We'll make this kind of quicker, but the Canadian has been the one that has been the most consistent on placement with it. High-res NAM and the GFS are really struggling on this event, even the Euro to an extent. Let's just use the Canadian model here because it seems to be more consistent. And generally, here's what you can see. The bigger snow is certainly off to our north with this one. Southern Indiana largely spared tonight from big accumulating snows, but maybe an inch or so possible still here with this. Thinking is there could be some locally higher amounts with those snow squalls. We'll see. Let's time it out for you really quickly. Here's future radar, and this is the high-res NAM. Again, this model is struggling, but it's the only future radar I've really got to show you right now. You can see that comes down, and it starts during the overnight hours, according to this. Here's about 4 a.m. Eastern Time. Again, mainly affecting that side of the state, but you got this little burst back here that's going on too, that you're going to have to watch. That moves here in to the area during the rush hour times as well. So it's mainly going to be an overnight event. Again, I'm not putting a whole lot of faith in this particular model because it's not just been overwhelmingly helpful to me, but either way, this all comes out of the area by later in the morning on Tuesday. Now, because of the timing on this, it'll be a little bit more of a high impact event than it would otherwise. Here's my snowcast for tonight. Up to about an inch or so possible from, let's say, the Evansville area over here to close to the Paoli area, Vincennes. Again, not a big event for southwest Indiana, a little bit bigger as you start to head off into the north and the east. 1 to 2 inches in general expected here, maybe in the Bloomington area as you get closer to, Clarksville, Jeffersonville, Madison towards Cincinnati. Indianapolis, Dayton, Ohio, points off up in here. You're looking at more to 2 or 4 inches, 2 to 4 inches and beyond. But again, not a big time snow for us tonight. Maybe the advisory areas, which does include part of what I say on the up to an inch here. Again, 1 to 3 inches under those advisory areas. Even if we got 3 inches, that's and that would be a decent little snowfall, but most of us, I don't think, are going to get that. Localized higher amounts will be possible, and I've highlighted that on here. I don't think the 3 inches is overly likely. I think the 2 inches is probably more towards the top. And that's why I've went with that. But bottom line is, it does come towards the rush hour tomorrow morning, though, folks. So because of that, roads could be a little slick. Therefore, it could be a high impact event for those that get the snow, just because of the timing on it. It's going to be more of a light powdery snow, most likely, rather than a heavy wet snow like we saw. And winds are going to be whipping around as well, folks. It's going to be breezy tonight as the low pressure deepens, as the Clipper system moves through, and we get on the back side of it tomorrow. It's going to be very breezy. Of course, that could blow this light powdery snow around, so just keep that in mind. Again, like I said, not a high impact event for us here in southern Indiana, but it could certainly cause some problems, so just use some caution tomorrow morning. Now let me just show you the modeling. There's a storm system later this week that could impact us a little bit more, and here's what it is. And let me just sort of show you where it starts out of. Notice a very similar theme to this weekend. What you've got here is another low pressure system that moves into the area. It starts off as rain. We warm up. Now the placement's not exactly the same on this one because you notice this is a system that's kind of more diving in. You've got a piece of the southern jet stream moving up with it as well. But you've got warm south winds, and you've got rain coming here on Friday. But then as you go into Friday night, you start to transition that rain over to some light snow showers again, and that's exactly what you see. Remember that first blue line here is the 540 thickness line. Typically the rain snow changeover line, though not always. It's just sort of a guide, but by the time you get into these cyan lines, you're definitely into the snow almost always. And you can see there's still some snow with this. In fact, could be another system similar to what we just had, where we get a good deal of rain before it with warm temperatures, and then we go to snow. Now the GFS has a much different idea than this. I'm not going to show it. I'm just going to say that it is different at this point. I don't think the GFS idea is really believable. It has a really weird placement for the low. I think the Euro has a better handle on this. Now let's hope we don't have another situation. We don't really need that, but there is possibility there that we could get that, so it's built into the forecast. would make sense for us to get sort of something, and let me just sort of show you why. We've got the Arctic Oscillation and the North Atlantic Oscillation both trending back in a positive direction. Here we are right now, and so we're going to stay firmly in negative until about the 17th, which, by the way, the 17th is about whenever that storm would strike. It strikes about the 16th, so just right after that storm on the modeling shows up, we start to trend in the positive direction for the Arctic Oscillation and in the positive direction for the North Atlantic Oscillation. And what typically happens here, just so that you get an idea, whenever we start to see, I've seen this a lot, whenever we go from strongly negative phase and we start to trend very quickly to a positive phase here, just in a matter of a couple of days, a sharp transition like that, what you end up happening is the potential for some big storms to come during that. Now, right now, the only storm that's really on the map is this particular one right here, because after that, on those days, high pressure locks in. It's going to be sort of a Canadian high pressure locking in, and it's going to be just sort of downright cold here. Here's the high pressure coming in over here, your 1036 high. So you've got some you've got that little thing moving off, and you got high pressure settling in. That's going to get cold. In fact, temperature is going to be extremely cold next week. Let's just take a look at that. How cold are we looking at? We're talking temperatures next week 20 degrees below normal. That's going to be downright cold. We're talking temperatures stuck in the teens and 20s if the euro is right. But we'll keep an eye on that, folks. Again, we've got that trending in the positive direction. That is unfavorable for winter once it goes that way. But what it also means is that you could have a potential bigger storm here in this transition zone. So we will have to see how that works out. It would fit the climatology for a decent little system to happen this weekend with some snow. It would fit sort of where the indices are. But again, this is only Monday, and this is talking about for Friday, Saturday. A lot can change between now and then, as you know, but just keep it in mind as we're going to be looking at it on the radar screen all week long, providing you updates. It looks like it could be a mess again from the way things look. Here's the 10-day forecast. You can go to southernindianaweather.com to get this. Light snow showers move in during the overnight. No rain to deal with. That's the good thing. It's going to be a light powdery snow most likely, so that'll blow it around with those winds, but you're going to be getting southwest winds, so that's going to keep the temperature up. We're not going to get down into the single digits like we saw this morning. Only going to go down into the upper 20s. We might rise a degree or two more today, but pretty much hanging close to where we're at right now. We're not going to fall that much. Tomorrow, once that Clipper system is passed through, it's going to get really gusty. Winds 10 to 20 miles per hour, maybe even gusting to 30 at times. And we might push up to 30 early in the morning hours, but then once it gets further behind us, cold air is going to advect in. We're going to change more to a west or a northwest wind, and we're going to start to fall those temperatures into the 20s over the daytime. Even some lingering flurries around, again, accumulations to a light coating up to an inch or two around the area. Winter weather advisories, of course, in effect. We clear it out in cold tomorrow night as we drop at least flirting with the single digits if we don't hit them around the area. Then we're only up to the 20s under sunny skies on Wednesday. But look at this. Nice warm up for the end of the week there again, up into the mid-40s and the upper 40s then for Friday with those showers moving in. But then we were going to go the way the euro is at least looking right now. We change over to those light snow showers with some accumulation possible Friday night into Saturday. Saturday we don't warm it up a whole lot more with some more of those lingering snow showers around. We go down into the teens again Saturday night, and then Sunday, once that system pushes past, we get that cold air really advected in according to the euro, and we get bitterly cold here. 22 or so for your high on Sunday, but then falling during the afternoon hours, and you can see we don't make it very far out of the 20. We might not even make it out of the teens with flirting with this right now. So again, a very cold period coming up, and we will keep an eye on it, folks. But we got some light snow to deal with tonight, and then we got maybe some snow to deal with this weekend. So a very active period coming for us. Winter weather advisories in effect for much of the area. So bottom line, folks, just use some caution as you are out traveling tomorrow morning. It could end up being a rough commute. I'm meteorologist Michael Wilhite for SouthernIndianaWeather.com. Have a great night, folks. Stay safe out there on those roads, and we'll see you next time.